Someone hacked live TV. This is what 20 million people saw on their screens. Unannounced, unplanned, unexplained, the FBI investigated. The FCC opened a case. And in 37 years, not one person was ever charged. November 22nd, 1987, Chicago, 9:14 p.m. Millions of people are watching the evening news on WGN. And then the signal cuts. The anchor disappears. And this appears on screen. A figure wearing a fiberglass mask, bobbing left and right, laughing. Nobody at the station did this. Nobody knows who did, and in 37 years, nobody has ever been caught. This is the Max Headroom Broadcast Hijack, the most brazen, unsolved crime in television history. To understand why this was so shocking, you need to know who Max Headroom was. In 1987, Max Headroom was everywhere. He was a fictional AI TV presenter, a pixelated, glitching, sarcastic character who hosted music videos, had his own TV show, and starred in Coca-Cola ads. He was the face of the future, the mascot of the digital age. Cool, edgy on every screen. So when a figure wearing his mask suddenly appeared on live television, people didn't immediately think crime. Some thought it was a stunt. Some thought it was part of the show. It wasn't. Whoever did this chose that mask deliberately. They wanted to send a message wearing the face of a man who didn't exist. It happens twice. Same night. First 9:14 p.m., Gene Channel 9. Sports news. The anchor Dan Roan is mid-sentence. The signal cuts. For 25 seconds off the screen shows the masked figure bobbing, moving, making noise. No audio comes through. Just the visual. Just the mask. Engineers at Gene scramble. They switch to a backup signal. It stops. Dan Roan comes back on screen, visibly confused. He says, "And I am not making this up well. If you're wondering what happened, so am I." The station gets calls immediately. Viewers want to know what they just saw. Mean has no answer. And then, 2 hours later, it happens again. 11:15 p.m. W2 Channel 11. Doctor Who is airing, same thing. Signal cuts. But this time, there's audio. And what comes through is genuinely strange. The figure is bobbing left to right. Mechanically, relentlessly, he's singing fragments of a Clutch Cargo cartoon theme. He holds up a glove and slaps it against something off-screen. He references a Chuck Swirsky, a Chicago sports presenter. At one point, a woman's hand appears behind him and spanks him with a fly swatter. Then it ends. The whole transmission lasts 90 seconds. W2's engineers couldn't cut the signal in time. They couldn't find who was overriding them. And then, as suddenly as it started, it was over. The person was gone. The airwaves were clear. And nobody had any idea who just did that. The FCC opened an investigation the next morning. The FBI got involved. This was a federal crime. Hijacking a broadcast signal carries serious prison time. So what did they find? Almost nothing. Here's why. To override a TV broadcast signal in 1987, you needed specific equipment, a high-powered transmitter, a directional antenna, and the knowledge to use both. This wasn't random. This was planned. This was technical. Whoever did this knew exactly what they were doing. They positioned themselves likely on high ground, within line of sight of the TV towers. They waited for the right moment, they executed it twice, and then they packed up and walked away. No equipment was found, no witnesses came forward, no fingerprints, no signal trace. The FCC issued a $100,000 reward. Nobody claimed it. Nobody came forward. The case went cold. 37 years later, 3 serious theories exist. None confirmed, none disproven. Theory 1, a small group of technically skilled pranksters. The equipment, planning, and execution suggest at least 2-3 people. The content of the hijack, references to local Chicago personalities, Clutch Cargo cartoons, the Fly Swatter, suggests someone who grew up in Chicago. A local, the general consensus among investigators and enthusiasts. This was a group of young, technically gifted people who thought it would be funny. The problem, broadcasting without a license is a federal offense. Even if it was a joke, they could face serious prison time. Nobody has ever voluntarily stepped forward. Theory 2, an inside job. Some investigators have pointed out how specifically the content references local Chicago TV culture. The Chuck Swirsky name drop, the channel choice. Could someone with industry access have arranged this? No evidence. But the specificity of the references makes this impossible to fully rule out. Theory 3, it was a message, and we missed it. Max Headroom was a fictional AI, a symbol of corporate media and digital control. Some researchers believe this was deliberate political commentary, an anti-corporate, anti-media statement using the most ironic mask possible, hijacking TV to mock TV itself. If so, the message was sophisticated. The execution was perfect, and the messenger was never identified. 3 theories, 1 fact. In 37 years, not one person has ever been charged. Here's what makes this case different from almost every other unsolved mystery. We have footage. We can watch it right now, anytime we want. We can see the mask, we can hear the voice, we can count the seconds, and yet we have no idea who is behind that mask. Not a name, not a face, not a single confirmed suspect in 37 years. Whoever did this is probably still alive. They're out there somewhere, possibly watching videos about themselves, possibly laughing. The FCC has never closed the case. Officially, it is still open, which means technically there's still time. 1 90-second transmission, 1 mask, 1 night in Chicago, and the most brazen unsolved broadcast crime in history. Still unsolved. If this mystery kept you hooked till the end, there are dozens more out there just as strange. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications, because the next unexplained signal could be 1 click away.